previous classes. Anything you want to say? No questions. So I got some mail from some of you. I'll today I shall respond to that. Okay, some questions probably someone sent. So today I will respond to that. Okay, any other questions you have? Okay, so you start. Can all of you see the OneNote file I am presenting?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay, so in the previous class we are studying conditional probability. Okay. So what is that? We defined in the last class. So this is that let A and B. So when we say this, that means always these things are there. This is the probability space, this is the set of events, and this is the probability on the set of events. Okay, let A and B, two events, so such that P greater than 0, then the conditional probability of B given A, that means what is the chance that B occurs given that the event A occurs. So that is the probability of B given A. That means what is the chance or probability that B will occur given that A occurs. Given A is by definition, which we denote by B slash A. This is by definition P A intersection B. So we discussed in the previous class that this should be the definition. Okay, so few examples we shall see. So a box contains r red balls. Okay. So which are labeled as 1, 2, r. So these red balls are labeled as 1, 2, r. B black balls. Which are labeled as 1, 2, B. If the ball drawn from the box is known to be red, so ball drawn from the box is known to be red, then what is the probability that it was red ball labeled 1? So please tell me. You can use a definition or you can use an intuition. Yes, here definition obviously matches with the intuition, so that's why this is the definition. That it was the ritual level A. Red ball level to 1. Okay, you tell me the definition. Okay, you tell me what is the answer by definition or by your intuition. What do you think? Anyone? All of you are sleeping there.
1 by R.
How can you say that 1 by R? Okay, so there are R red balls, so from that you are choosing the one ball, right? So it is 1 by R. Very good. And if you use the definition, then so you are what you say is also correct. PA equal to R by R plus B. So there are R plus B balls, and you're choosing any one of the ball. So there are R red balls. So this is R by R plus B. So this we can get just using the classical definition. Okay, just divide by the number. Divide the number of the event A by the number of the all outcomes. So the number of events A is R, so R by R plus B. And what about P? What about PB? Tell me what is PB. Though I don't know, we don't need PV, but please you can, if you can, please tell me what is PV.
1 upon R plus B.
1 upon or 2 upon? Because there are two balls level 1, right? This one red ball and one black ball. So 2 upon R plus B. Now tell me what is PA intersection B. So how many events, how many outcomes are there in A intersection B? So A intersection B means what? Okay, I didn't say what is A and B, right? Sorry for that. A is, you understand red ball, that the ball you chose is red, and B is ball drawn is the event that the ball drawn is level 1.
Sir, it is a red ball labeled one, not just ball labeled one.
So yeah, so A is the red ball. Okay.
As the PB
Okay.
should be 1 upon R plus B.
Okay, right. So okay, so I just do one thing. When I say this, I just do this. So probability that it was the ball labeled 1. It was a ball. So means what you were saying, that is also correct, but this is a little bit non-trivial this way. So I'm taking this way. So what is PB? PB is the ball event that the ball drawn is leveled 1. Now is it all right? Now PV is 2 by R plus B. What is A intersection B? What is the event A intersection B? So intersection B is red ball leveled 1. So number of elements, number of outcomes in A intersection B is just 1. Only there is only one ball leveled 1, right? So PA intersection B is 1 by R plus B. So PB given A is PA intersection B by PA. This is 1 upon R plus B by R upon R plus B equal to 1 by I. So one of you actually said that this should be R because 1 upon R, because from R balls you are choosing the 1 ball. So this is 1 upon R. Okay. And I forgot to mention here one thing in the definition. I mentioned in the last class, if PA equal to 0, then PB given A is not defined. Okay, any question? So what happens that sometimes in this problem we have seen that we have calculated the probability that B occurs given A occurs. Sometimes it may happen that in many problems in your applications you will find that we go in the opposite directions, like the condition probability. Suppose for some events B and A, suppose PB given A, the conditional probability that B occurs even given A occurs is given. That probability is given. The conditional probability, instead of calculating that, that is already given. And from that, we will calculate some other probability. Okay. Do you understand this thing? So we will go in the opposite direction. And we shall use this conditional probability. Now we will see how we will do that. So another example. This you can think of an applications of conditional probability. So a population of a certain city is 40% male, 60% female, suppose 50% of males and 30% of females, smoke. Find the probability that a smoker is a male. So see that given, okay, okay, so okay, you suggest me how to proceed. You suggest me how to proceed. So write the name of 4 events we will write. Okay. So tell me what will be the events. First is event that the person you choose is male. Then if is another event, the event that the person chosen is female, is this is the event that the person chosen smokes, in the event that the person chosen doesn't smoke, now what is the probability of PM? You tell me. From this given data, you tell me what is the probability that what is PM?
0.4.
2 by
2 by
5.
5.
2 by 5? Very good.
Yes, sir. 2 by 5.
So 40 by 100, right? What is PF?
Sir, 3 by
3
5.
by 5.
60 by 100. Now what is P? What is given that 50% of males smoke? What does it mean? What does it mean?
Sir,
that
1 by
50%?
5 smoke. Sir, 1 by 5% male smoke. 1 by 5.
Okay, 1 by 5% smokes. But what is the given that 50% of males? How can you interpret this particular data? That means if we choose a male that he smokes or doesn't smoke, he smokes, the probability is 1 by 2 or 50%. That means if we choose a male, right? So if S given name is 50% or 1 by 2. Is this okay? Similarly,
Yes, sir.
PS given F is 30%. 30% equal to 0.3 by 10. Now from this, you tell me what is P of S
The 1 by
intersection.
5.
S intersection is M
1
is
by 5.
P M,
1 by 5.
right? PM into P S choose M. Is this okay? Because PM into P S given M equal to PM. By if you put just definition S intersection M by PM, so cancel out, so it will be P S intersection M. Okay, so P S intersection M is PM into P S given M. And what is PM? PM is 2 by 5 and PS given M is 1 by 2. So what you are saying that P 1 by 5. Similarly, PS intersection F is PF into PS given F. So PS is 3 by 5 and PS given F is 3 by 10. So it's 9 by 50. Right, 50 is 0.18, right? So from this, what we have to compute, tell me. What we have to compute?
Sir, we have to compute the number of males smoking.
So that means, no. We have to compute, find the probability that a smoker is a male. So given that the person we have chosen is a smoker, we have to compute that what is the probability that that smoker is a male. That means given what is the probability of M given S, right? Is the person is a smoker. So given S, what is the probability of M? So we have to choose
S intersection M.
this. Is it okay?
Sir,
Given
can you
S,
explain again?
yes. So what is this? What is PM given S? That means the person we have chosen, that means S occurs, what is the probability that M will occur? That means the person we have chosen is a smoker. What is the probability that that person is a male? Is this okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Fine. So we have to choose this. So that is equal to PM intersection S by PS. Now what is PS? Can you tell me how to find PS?
The total number of
38 by
smoke.
38 by
38 by
100.
100. Yeah.
How do you get 38?
Like total number of smokers by 100.
How do you get total number of smokers?
Like we can assume that total number of people are 100. So 40 is male, 60 is female, then 50% of male, like that.
Okay, that's fine. It's fine. That will also work. But what we have got what is S intersection F and S intersection M. So P is equal to P. What you can write is, so intersection the full set omega. Okay, so yeah, I am writing. If you have any problem, then you'll tell me. So what is, how we can write A omega as M union F, and this is, and see, this is means M and F, these are, the intersection is empty, right? So these are disjoint union. Okay, so they're mutually disjoint. So this is mutually disjoint event. So we are taking this as S intersection M union. So these two are also mutually disjoint. So by probability theorem, by the probability property, this is equal to P S intersection M plus P S intersection F. Is this okay? Tell me whether this is okay or not. Any question here?
Sir, would you mind explaining this again?
Yeah. So is it, which line is okay? Tell me. So P S we can write as S intersection omega. Omega is the full set, full outcomes. Okay, means all the population. And what is now omega you can write as M union F. Is that okay? So any person is either a male or a female. We are assuming that. Now, so this will be equal to S intersection M union F equal to S intersection M union S intersection F. I hope this thing you know. This is set theoretic intersection. I hope all of you know this thing. This. So A intersection B union C equal to A intersection B union A intersection C. This is the set theoretic union and intersection. Okay, I hope you all of you know this thing. So we can write this is as P S intersection M union S intersection F. And these two events, S intersection M and S intersection F, these two events are mutually disjoint. So a person can be either a male or a female. So these are mutually disjoint, right? As S intersection in intersection S intersection F is S intersection M intersection F, and M intersection F we know is empty. So this is equal to empty. Okay. So, and what do you know about two mutually disjoint events? So P A union B equal to P A plus P B, where A and B are mutually disjoint. This thing you know. This is by the definition of probability, right? So PS intersection PS equal to PS intersection M plus PS intersection F. Now what is PS intersection M? We have got this 1 by 5 and PS intersection F is 9 by 50. So this is 1 by 5 plus 9 by 50. So this is exactly what you are saying. So this will be 50 by 19.
So 19.
Right. So P of A is equal to 50 by 19. 19 by 50. Okay. So now what we write it here. So P, we have to compute this. So the person is a male, provide given that person is a smoker, PM intersection S by PS. PM intersection S was 1 by 5. This is 19 by 50. So this will be 5, 10. I hope this is 10 by 19. Okay. Any questions?
Sir, can you tell P M intersection S in words? Means what will we write this in words? Like sir, P M by S is the person, the smoker is a male. This is the word of the. So sir, P M intersection S.
The PM
What will
intersection
we
is
write?
that the person you choose is a male and a smoker. So there is a difference between PM intersection S and PM given S. So here we are choosing a person. What is the probability that you choose the person? You have chosen the person who is male and smoker. This is PM intersection S. And PM given is, what is the probability that the person is a smoker is given? Then you are choosing then you are finding the probability that the person is a smoker, is a male. So you understand the difference.
Okay,
so
sir.
PM
Yes,
intersection
sir.
S means you are finding the probability the person you have chosen is a male and a smoker. And here you are finding the probability that given that the person chosen is a smoker. Now you are calculating what is the probability that the smoker is a male. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Means among the smoker you are finding the probability that the person is a male. That is PM given S among the smokers only one. So now your sample is only among the smoker. And when you take PM intersection S, your sample is among everything. Among everyone, you are if means everyone is your sample, means smokers, non-smoker, male, female. But when you calculate M given is, then your samples are only the smokers. From there, you are only choosing the male. Okay, now another example. So a student is taking a multiple choice exam. So MCQ, that you know better, MCQ, multiple choice. MCQ questions exam. In which each question has 5 possible answers. In which each question has 5 possible answers, exactly one of which is correct. If the student knows the answer, he selects the correct answer. This is obvious. He chooses the correct answer. Otherwise, he selects one answer at random. Suppose the student knows the answer to 70% of the question. Okay, I'm saying he always. So he knows the answer to 70% of the questions. Now, what is the probability on a given question the student gets the correct answer? So you tell me this thing. Or tell me how to proceed.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
sir, we will take first event
Just
that
let me finish writing, then I'll listen to you. Okay. Question: the student gets the correct answer. Yeah, so the questions here are so lengthy. Yes, sir. Now tell me your answer.
So 0.76.
Oh, you have got very good. But tell me how to do this.
Yes, sir. Sir, firstly, the 70% of the questions, the answer is known. That means that the
Right?
probability in that case would be 7 by 10 into 1, because if we know the answer, the
Right.
probability becomes 100%. I mean,
Very good.
we know which answer to take.
Uh,
Plus, now the rest of the 30% of the questions, we just don't know. So we have a probability of 1 by 5 on ticking on any one of the 5 options. So that will be
very good.
3 by 10 into 1 by 5.
Very good.
The
Very good. So
combination
I,
gives me
what you
6.76.
say? I just try to write this means using all the terminology. I'm trying to write this. What you have said. Okay.
Sure, sir.
So I'm giving this the event. Suppose let A1. So I'm first giving the name A1. What do you want to say A1? He knows the event that he knows the answer. Correct answer. Okay. And A2 is he doesn't know. So, and B is another event, he gets the correct answer. He gets the correct answer. He doesn't know, but somehow he gets. He may or may not know, but he somehow he gets the correct answer. Maybe he knows, or maybe by randomly choosing. Now, what is P of A1? What is the probability of A1?
7 by 10.
1 by 10? 7 by
So
10,
7
right?
by 10. 7 by
Very
10.
good. 7 by 10. And what is the probability of A2?
So 3 by 10.
3 by 10. Now we have to find probability of B, right? That is the thing. We get what is the probability that the student gets the correct answer. So, and there are some more things is given. P of B given A1. Can you tell me what is this? So P given A1 means what is the probability that the student gets the correct answer if he knows the answer? What is the probability?
1.
Very
Yes, sir.
good.
1.
And what is the probability that the student gets the correct answer if he doesn't know the answer?
1 by
1 by
5.
5.
1 by 5, so 0.2. So because he is choosing randomly one answer from the given 5 answers. So what is P B intersection A1? This is again P A1
7
into
by 10. 7 by 10.
P B given A1. So this is 7 by 10. I write 0.7. And P given B intersection A2 is again P of A2 into P B given A2 is equal to 0.3 into 0.2.
3 by 50.
So 0.06, am I correct?
Yes, sir.
So P of B, so some of you actually could answer this, equal to P, again we write B as B intersection omega. Now B intersection omega, we break omega as A1 union A2, because there are only two cases, right? The student knows the answer and he doesn't know the answer. Only two cases are there. So the full set, the full outcomes is equal to A1 union A2. And moreover, A1 intersection A2 is empty. It can't happen that these two can't happen, that he knows the answer, he doesn't know the answer. These two can't happen together. So A1 intersection A2 is empty. So we write this as P B intersection A1 union B intersection A2. Now again, these two things are mutually disjoint. So this is equal to PB intersection A1 plus PB intersection A2. And this is equal to 0.7 plus 0.06 equal to 0.76. Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, what is the meaning of PB intersection A2?
B intersection A2 means he doesn't know the answer, but he gets the correct answer. Okay. That means he is choosing randomly from 5. So that is point. Okay, not point. Okay. So that means he's choosing, means in this case, he is just choosing randomly. Is this okay?
Yes.
So,
Yes, sir.
okay, so now this is the second part moving of this problem. Now he will tell me if the student gets the correct answer. So B is given. Okay, gets the correct answer. That means the B is given. What is the probability that he knows the answer?
Sir, 0.92.
That much? Okay, let's see. How do you get?
Sir, P A1 by B I calculated.
So here answer is we have to take, so we have to find the probability of he knows the answer, that means A1, given that he gets the answer, that P A1 given B. This is equal to P A1 intersection B by P B. So P A1 intersection B is 0.7 and PB is 0.76. So is this 0.92?
Yes, sir. 35 by 38. Yes.
So not approximately is equal to 0.92, I hope. Okay, whatever.
Yes, sir. 0.921.
0.921.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now the next thing what we will do is exactly the same thing. Like we know what PB, we know here what PB given A1 equal, we know PB given A2 we know, and A1 and A2 are what they are mutually disjoint and their union is the whole thing. From this we got PB. The same thing we can write as a formula. Okay. So here you will see that PB given A1 you know, PB given A2 you know, and A1 and A2 are mutually disjoint and their union is the full set, full sample space. So from this, from this we got what is PB. Okay, so PB is PB intersection A1 plus PB intersection A2, and please PB intersection A1 is PB PA1 into PB given A1, PB intersection A2 is PA2 into PB given A2. So from this we can actually find, we actually have one formula for this. This is called Bayes rule. So suppose A1, A2, AN are in mutually disjoint events with union omega let B be an event the union is the full set and then mutually disjoint. Let B be an event with P greater than 0. Let PBI and EI are known. BA choose given AI and PAI are known. What is P? This is exactly the same thing we have done before. What is PAI? In the exactly the same thing we have done in the previous example, AI given B. So B we can write as B intersection union of A because they are AI because their union is the full set, full sample space. This is equal to union B intersection AI equal to 1 to N. So PV equal to, this is P union B intersection AI is equal to 1 to N, but these things are, this union is disjoint union, means they are B intersection I, these things are mutually disjoint. So this is equal to, by the definition of probability, PB intersection AI. And what is from I is equal to 1 to N, and what is this thing? PB intersection I you can write as, I am not giving details, right? Okay, because you have already seen all these things in those examples. PB intersection I is P AI into P B given AI. So P AI given B equal to P AI intersection B by PV, which is equal to P AI P B given AI by summation PAK by P B given AK, K is equal to 1 to N. So this is called the Bayes rule. The previous thing we could solve by just using this rule, previous example. Okay, I am not proving this thing because I have almost proved this thing. Maybe some small details I have left. So, means if we can interpret PAI given B, that is that we can think that the P is the event that has happened and AK are being the possible causes of that event B. Okay, B is event. So this is one way of thinking the probability, conditional probability. P observed event and AI possible causes, but there are also event causes for P of B. So this is the probability that the event AK was the cause of B given that B occurs. So this way you can think. Given that B occurred. Given that B occurred, the probability that AK was the cause of B. Okay, so there is one example we'll take some 2 minutes or 5 minutes break. After that, we'll come back and see the example. Okay, so start again. So we go to the next example. Before I go to the next example, any questions do you have?
No, sir.
Okay, this is very good. So the next example. Is called Paulia's Arm Scheme. So I'm not writing everything now. It's a big thing I have to write. So an arm has R red balls. This contains R red balls and B black balls. And a ball is drawn and its color is noted. Okay. A ball drawn. Its color noted. So then it together with C greater than 0 balls of the same color as drawn ball are added to the arm. Then that ball plus C number of C is greater than 0, okay. Same color ball added. Added to the arm. This procedure is repeated in -1 additional times so that the total number of drawing made from the arm is in. Repeat in -1 times. So total number of try draw is n. Okay. So these are the things. So A arm has R red balls, B black balls. You just choose one ball, take the color, see the color, then that ball plus another C number of same color balls are added to that arm and repeat the same things in -1 times. So ultimately n times we have drawn a ball from that arm. So now you have to do what is find the probability that the first ball drawn is red and black. So two probabilities we have to find. The first ball draw is red and black. So again probability, find the probability. That of selecting a red ball at any trial n is R by R plus B. This you can do. So this will be given as a home task. This you can do by using induction. So I said what is induction in the last class, probably. Yes, I think so. And C is given that the second ball was red, find the probability so this is a big thing I'm writing, that the first ball was red, but the thing is not that difficult. So if you see, it will be easier. First ball was red, and the first ball was black. Okay, so we go try to answer this. So write the event first. So let RJ be the event, that the jth ball drawn ball was red. And BJ with the event.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
C, A part is R plus C upon 2R plus C.
You have got your answer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good. Then what is your answer?
R plus C upon 2R plus C.
2R plus C.
Yes, sir.
I don't think so. Okay, so you see that, you'll tell me then when you reach there. So BJ is that event that the jth ball drawn ball is black. Okay. So what is PR1? First ball is red. What is that thing? What is the probability? R by R plus B. And first ball is black. Is B by R plus B. And now tell me, what is the probability from your intuition that the second ball is red, given that the first ball was red? Given that the first ball was red, what is the probability that the second ball is red? Yes, sir.
R plus C upon R plus B plus C.
Very good. Because we know that if R1 happens, means the ball we chosen was red. If R1 given R1, that means the first ball we chose is red. That means that ball with another C red color ball will return to that R. So number of total balls is now B plus R plus C. And out of this B plus R plus C, now R plus C balls are red. So now if we choose a red ball, the probability is R plus C by R B plus R plus C. Okay. So what is R1 intersection up to? This will be P of R1 into P up to given R1. This is equal to R by B plus R. into R plus C by B plus R plus C. So similarly, you can get P of B1 intersection R2 is B by
Sir, R upon R plus B plus.
into R by R plus B plus C. Is this okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So from here, so see, I can't see your face expression. So if you have any problem, then please stop me immediately. So PR2 is again, if we use the base formula rule, R1 intersection R2 plus P B1 intersection R2. Now if we put just these things, you will get R by P plus R. So you see that again, the second ball you choose is red, has the probability R by B plus R. Okay, so from this you can say, because R2 and B2 are mutually disjoint and they fill up the whole outcome, 1 minus P R2, 1 minus R by B plus R. This is B by B plus R. Okay, now we should go to the C. So what C says, given that the second given that the second ball was red, find the probability that the first ball was red and the first ball was black. So given that the second ball was red, that means given R2, we have to find R1 and B1. Okay, given R2, we have to find R1 and B1. So we have to find P R1 given R2. So this is P R1 intersection R2 by P R2. So you know what is the value of R1 intersection R2?
Sir, R plus C upon R plus B plus C into R upon B plus R plus square.
Is this okay? So if you I'm writing, if you have any confusion, then please ask me. And what is R2? R2 have just found R by B plus R. That means R plus C by B plus R plus C. Is this okay? Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. Any confusions are there? Now you see one thing. Just one thing I have to. That's much better. So in the previous example, you see that P of R1 is R by B plus R, and P of what is R1 given at 2, R plus C by B plus R plus C. Right. So that means the probability that R1 occurs and probability that R1 occurs given B R2 occurs, these two things are not same. So that means R2 occurs, this changes the probability that R1 occurs. Is it okay? So here P of R1 not equal to P R1 given R2. So R2 occurs, this changes the probability that R1 occurs. Right, because P of R1 is not equal to P R1 given R2. So here so according of R2 changes the probability of according of okay, see another example. So here the outcome set omega is 1, 2, 3, 4, and take the events A equal to 1, 2 and B equal to 1, 3. Now what is PV? What is the probability of P? Sorry, V is not this. V is sorry. B is just this. What is PV? Number of elements in B by number of elements in omega. So this is 1 by 4. And what is PA intersection B? It's again 1 by 4. And what is PA? Half. So
2 by 4.
PB.
Yes, sir, half.
So P PB given A, the probability of B given A is 1 by 4 by 1 by 2. This is 1 by 2. So see that PB here, PB not equal to P given A. Okay. Take another example. C equal to, in the same example, C equal to 1 by 3, 1 comma 3. Then PC equal to 1 by 2 and P C choose A, C given A is equal to
Sir, 3 by 2.
3 by 2. Probability cannot
Yes,
be
sir.
greater than 1. Probability cannot be greater
No,
than 1.
I mean, sir, 3 by. Sir, C intersection A will be 3 by 4, na?
C intersection A is just 1, right?
Sir, we will not get 4. We will only get 1, 2, and 3.
No, what is C intersection B? Just 1.
1. Okay.
And the outcomes which are both in both A and C, only one. Right?
Okay, sir.
So PC intersection A is 1 by 4,
1 by, yes, sir. 1/2.
and this is 1 by 2. This is actually 1 by 2. So here PC is equal to PC given A. So here the probability that the given A means A occurs, this does not change the probability that C occurs. Okay. So in this case, so what happens that C occurs, A occurs, this does not change the probability that C occurs. So this is, we say that A and B are, this is definition, A and B are independent if one of the two equivalent conditions hold. One of the three equivalent conditions P B given A is equal to PB. Okay. Just one second. Okay, so suppose PB equal to PB A equal to, okay, okay, there's this little bit problem with this definition. Okay, just change the definition. Not one of the suppose the following condition hold. Condition once. Okay, so this, what is the condition? That is PA intersection B is equal to PA into PP. Can you say from where this condition comes? So these are said to be independent if the following condition holds, that is PA intersection B is equal to PA into PB. So can you say from where these conditions come?
Sir, Mike, hello. Yes, sir.
Hello.
Because, yes, sir. Because, sir, PA by B is equal to PA.
Very
Sir,
good.
because,
So PB
sir,
by
because
A
they're
equal to
independent.
PB by A equal to not PA is equal to PB.
PB. Yes, sir.
So
PB.
this implies P A intersection, we just use the definition, by PA equal to PB. This equal to PA intersection B is, this implies P intersection B equal to PA into PB. So that's why I say that these two things are, these two events are independent. Okay, if PA intersection B equal to PA into PB. Okay, there are more conditions. This is the first definition. Three events. A, B, and C are mutually independent, the second definition, okay. If they are pairwise independent, means how we define this, okay, you can also say pairwise. So we first define when two events are independent. Now we define when three events are independent. So they are pairwise independent, and PA intersection B intersection C equal to PA into PB into PC, and 3. So now we shall define for any n. Okay. So what happens? Okay. Before going to the for n number of events, what happens? So if PC not equal to 0, then not PC. So suppose PA intersection B not equal to 0, then what is PC given A intersection B? This is P by definition C intersection A intersection B by PA intersection B. Okay, and what is PC intersection A intersection B? This is by the definition PC into PA into PB and PA intersection B, because you see that they are pairwise disjoint. So A and B are pairwise disjoint. That means PA intersection B is PA into PB is equal to PC. So you see that C given A intersection B, this probability is equal to PC. Any questions you have in this part? Now we have defined when two events are mutually disjoint, when three events are mutually disjoint. Now by induction, we will define when n number of events are mutually disjoint. Okay? Yes, sir, any questions? I can't hear you if you are saying something.
Sir, there is another way, I guess, by which we don't have to use induction.
What is that way?
Sir, if we take A intersection B as an event, D, sir, as they are mutually independent, so C and D will also be mutually independent.
Right.
And sir, C by A intersection B will be equal to C by D, which is equal to, sir, P C intersection D upon PD, which is PC into PD upon PD. PD से PD cancel हो जाएगा, and that will be equal to PC. And sir, for n we can do from A1 to AN minus 1. We will take this as a event, say X. So sir, P, X and AN we can calculate by the same way. by the definition of those.
Yeah, so but you see that here we have defined, we have used that PCA in C intersection A intersection B as PC into PA into PB. This part we have used. So after using that, this part and PA intersection B is PA into PB, then only we could get PC. Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
here in, okay, we just see that. Then if you have any other inquiry, then please tell me later. Is said to be mutually independent if, so we have defined this induction by induction. So any subcollection, so that means up to n minus 1 everything is defined. Any subcollection containing at least but let's say at least one. At least two because after that it didn't define at least two, but fewer than n events are mutually independent and PA1 intersection AN PA1 into PA. So this is the definition. Okay, you can take some other definitions, like you can say PA1 given A2 intersection A3 intersection AN is equal to PA1. You can say this way, but from all those things we can deduce this thing, and this is the definition taken by the books. So I am using this as definition. Okay, any questions? Okay, one example. Suppose three identical and perfectly balanced coils so this thing you will see that this okay, I write this, then you will see coils are tossed once. Let AI is the event. The ith coil lands heads. So that the event, so A1, A2, and A3 are mutually disjoint. So AI is that event that the ith coil is if in ith toss you are getting head are mutually disjoint. Sorry, mutually independent. It's very sorry. So how many outcomes are there? H. So suppose you are taking PA2, that is the second coil will lands head. So how many possible way? H, T, H,
Sir, 8
H, T, H. How many possibility?
Sir, 8.
So the total number is 4. The total number is 8. So 2 cross 2 cross 2.
Yes, sir. 1/2.
And when A2 has number of elements 4. Right? So this is half. Now, what is PA1 intersection A2? So A1 intersection A2 means H,
2/8.
H and H, T. So 2 by 8, so 1 by 4. So this is equal to 1 by 4 equal to 1 by 2 into 1 by 2 is equal to PA1 into PA2. So A1 and A2 are independent. So similarly, A2, A3 and A1, A3 are independent. Okay, now what is PA1 intersection A2 intersection A3?
Sir, 1/8.
Because there is
1 by
only
8.
one outcome, right, in that event.
Yes.
H. So this is 1 by 8, which is half into half into half. So PA1 into PA2 into PA3. Okay, so A1, A2, A3 are mutually independent. So we is always say disjoint. So A3 are mutually independent. So what happens, like in these cases when you are tossing the coin, so see that first outcome, it may be head or tail, doesn't influence the second outcome, right? Second outcome first outcome is head, second outcome can be head or tail, anything. And also if the first outcome is tail, second outcome can be head, tail, anything. So here, first outcome doesn't influence the second outcome. Similarly, the second outcome doesn't influence the first outcome or the third outcome. So that's why they are, means by intuition, we can see that they should be mutually independent. Because one event doesn't change the other event. The outcome occurrence of the other event. Okay. Now there is definition 4. Where is it? This is called, for a given probability space, so this is a sample space, set of events and the probability, a sequence of events. These are just some definitions, okay, of events AI are said to be mutually exclusive if AI intersection HA is empty for I not equal to J. Okay, so there's difference between mutually exclusive and mutually independent. So this is the next thing. So the product rules applies to independent events. So I shall not write anything. So this is by the definitions you have seen. So rule applies to independent events. So I just tell you some examples. Like suppose you sing, and suppose your friend likes to play violin. Okay, and suppose IIT is organizing a concert, and where you can be chosen to sing, and your friend can be chosen to play violin. So see that you are selected. This event doesn't influence that your friend is also selected for playing violin in that concert. So suppose only one will be chosen, one singer and one violin player. So you are chosen or you are not chosen. This event doesn't influence the event that your friend will play violin or will not play violin. So that's why these two events are mutually independent. Okay, so here A is that event that you selected to sing. And B is the event that your friend selected to play violin in that concert. So what is the probability of both you will sing and your friend will play violin? The probability will be much less, right? Will be the probability that you will sing into the probability that your friend will play violin. Okay, so this is for mutually independent events, and some rule applies to mutually exclusive events. So in this case, suppose you and your friend both sing, and in the concert which IIT is organizing, only one singer will be chosen. So in this case, so you and your friend both sing, so only one of you and your friend will be chosen. So here A is the event that you selected to sing in the concert, and B is that event that your friend is selected to sing in the concert. So these two cannot happen together because only one will sing. Only one will be chosen to sing. So these two events are mutually exclusive or disjoint. So P A union B, I hope equal to PA plus PB. So I hope I have able to. Is it clear? Any questions?
Yes, sir. No, sir.
No. Okay, another example I am giving. Let's see whether this is clear or not. So a coin is, so his experiment is that a coin is tossed twice. A is the event. First time we get H, head. and B is the event first time, first time, second time we get head or tail, suppose. So you see that one event doesn't influence the other event because the tossing is not, first tossing doesn't influence the second tossing. So here PA, so how many things are there? HT. So this is A and HT. So HTTT, this is the event B. Okay. So PA equal to half, PP equal to half, and PA intersection B is what? Is this thing. This is PA intersection B. So this is equal to, there is only one event. So it is equal to 1 by 4. It's equal to half into half. So it's equal to PA into PV. So these are mutually disjoint, mutually independent. I'm very sorry, I'm saying this disjoint always. A and B are mutually independent. Suppose A1 is 2 head, is the event that we get 2 heads, and A2 is 2 tails. So these two events are mutually disjoint, mutually exclusive. Okay, so A1, A2 mutually. So I hope now this is clear. Exclusive. Any more questions? 5. Get a sequence. 5 definition of events AI are called mutually exhaustive if the union is the full set, the full sample space, and they are called partition of partition this is called partition if they are mutually exclusive and exhaustive. Okay, Okay, that means their intersection is mutual intersection is empty, and if you take the whole union, you will get back the full sample space. Any question?
Sir,
Any
can you
questions?
explain this last point?
Okay, so
Last point.
last point. So I'll give one example. So suppose you just toss the head coin once. Okay, so A1 is it head. I'm giving the easiest example. And A2 is tail. So their intersection is empty. They are mutually exclusive, and their union is the whole sample space. So this means mutually exclusive. This means mutually exhaustive. So this is a partition. Any other question? Okay, so 2-3 minutes left. So we'll start the next topic. Random variable. So this discrete and continuous. So first we start with discrete. We start with an example again. So consider the experiment of tossing a coin 3 times. Okay. So toss a coin 3 times. So probability of a head So suppose the coin may be biased or unbiased. So of a head is P. So the probability in a experiment in a tossing of a tail is 1 minus P. Suppose for each head you will win 100 rupees. And for each tail, you will lose. You will lose 100 rupees. So we are interested in total winnings we will get. So X is the total winnings. So how many rupees you can win and how many you can lose. So this you can write as, so suppose these are the sample events. These are the winning and these are the probability. Okay. So if the result is H, so how much will you get?
300.
300. So what is the probability of this?
1/8. 1/8.
1 by 8, but because here the coin may be biased, so p cube, right? So here ph is equal to ph, first time head ph into second time head ph in third time head ph. So this is p, so p cube. So because we by intuition we know the first outcome of the toss doesn't influence the second outcome. So Kishan Pandey, your microphone is on. Please mute it. Just to write all these things, then I have to finish. Then is HHT. So what is the amount you will win?
100.
100.
100.
So what is the probability?
Sir,
Of
P
HHT?
square 1 minus P.
P square 1 minus P. Very good. Again we write HTH. We will again get 100. This will be P square 1 minus P. There are 8 more things are there. So then TH will get 100. Again P square 1 minus P. Now suppose this is HTT. So how much you will get?
Minus 100.
So you'll get minus 100. So you'll lose 100 rupees. You lost 100 rupees. So what is the probability of this?
P 1 minus P ka whole square.
P minus P
P
square.
into 1 minus P whole square.
Very good. Then T.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, it's already 10 and we have a basic EC class.
So just give me 1 minute. Okay, I'm finishing. Just write all these things. Then I'm finishing. And other event is other outcome is TTT. So how much you will lose? 300 rupees you will lose. And here the probability is 1 minus PQ. Okay, so we stop here. Next week, sorry, tomorrow we just start from this. Okay. Any other questions if you have, then you can ask me. Okay. We stop. No questions? Okay, stop them.
No, sir.
Fine. So we'll meet tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.